Yeah. How we doing? Are we juicy my Gucci? Previously on Kimba TV. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Bugatti money, get nasty. Oh, get nasty. Oh, get nasty. Let's go. Oh, get nasty. We gonna get nasty, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get nasty. Let's go. Let's put. Well, I'm gonna probably move my stop loss and profit even further down. There you go, banana man. Hey, how many of y'all remember when we drew this value box? I haven't touched this. Look at this. What the fuck? I haven't touched this box since Friday. Look at this box. Look, crazy. Penetrate, value area low, retest. PDEQ pixel, value area low, value area high. Crazy. How y'all doing? Wazzle says, we want to talk about CME gap. Do you think it will get filled? So my first question would be, is this how many CME gaps have you seen? That would be my first question for a lot of people. If you've seen gaps like this before, it can leave it behind. It's probably a little too big for it to not get eaten up a little bit. But ideally something like this, and you would still leave it and leave that. So you don't have to get the whole thing. We've seen plenty get left behind. Absolute says, based on Kimba's dem post, you attempted to short yesterday. How many attempts did you do? That was it. That was it. Got stopped out. You know that I have 35 Bitcoin long from here. So this is what I'm going to do. Stop loss and profit, TP, or a short. Sounds good? J6 says, how are you? I got a question. Since 59K is no longer in play, who said that? That's already kind of weird. What do you mean 59K is no longer in play? So like stuff like that, J6, I don't really know what time frame you're talking about. So I would just go with what you think is right, because if you're trading a different time frame than me, then it's a little bit too difficult. So did you get caught up on the morning TA? You know what I'm doing, J6? Would you wait for a dip to go for all-time high? I don't think I'm saying it the same as you, J6. So if I were you, I would just do what you think is best. For me, I've been using this to guide me for a very long time. So have you been following with me since like here? You know, do you remember when we got Pico bottom long, Pico bottom long, Pico top shorts? J6 says, I thought you mean we would leave gap and go up. So yeah, so stop the music. So that's, I think, a lot of people's problems. The only reason you can't juice is because you don't know what's going on. J6, do you think that I can read the data and tell if it's bullish or bearish? You are just memorizing what I'm saying and bits and pieces of it, and you're not understanding what would make certain things bullish and what would make certain things bearish. Just by looking at this, do you understand that you could just have this and then poop? It has to get above that. 64.5 is a number that I've been talking about for quite some time. Whether it was we needed to swing, fail, and hold and get back above, or you need to get back above and turn that bitch into support and go. There's nothing that says 59 is off the table. The only way 59 would be off the table is if this 64.5 gets turned into support. So when you say, hey, since 59 isn't on the table anymore, I don't know what that means. I would actually be okay with that too. Alrighty, so there is no such thing as this is off the table. You have to be able to read the data yourself. Memorizing what I say at that moment with the data that's provided to me at that moment is gonna just fuck you up. Alrighty, so there is no like, oh, you said this, you said that, based off of the data. So if that data changes, then I would expect that you would also be able to tell that I'm no longer bearish or I'm no longer bullish. The thing is I interpret the data the same way every single time. So it's not so much about you memorizing how I'm interpreting that specific data. As long as you know how I interpret data, you'll always know what I'm thinking. Alrighty, but I don't think there's 59 is not off the table. Alrighty, so you should be able to tell me if it's bullish or bearish. We're all looking at the same open interest, the same CVD, the same RSI. All right, motherfuckers, any questions? You know what? Shoot, you guys want to like talk about what happened over the weekend? Do you guys want to talk about like by the book on how you were supposed to play this? How many of y'all were here at the end of the Friday stream when we drew this box and we talked about getting back in here? How many of y'all were here? I think it was Alpeasy or somebody was asking a question and we went over the bullish scenario. And dude, I have not changed this box. I did not change this box. And look at how pixel perfect. Look at this. Came back into value. That is your long. I don't know if you want to like get cute with it or not, but this is a dead obvious long. We talked about it on Friday. We came back into value. We turned that bitch into support. That was the PDEQ pixel perfect, which would make sense. You had another chance to do the bullish retest and immediately rotated to value area high. And look at where it went from. Pixel perfect bottom, pixel perfect top. Alrighty. And then bearish divs going on, swing fail. I got that pixel perfect, stopped out in tiny P. Let's say, for example, so what would be the next thing? I don't know if you guys remember, but there's a different ways that you can look at it. One is you are taking a short here. Okay. Stop loss and profit, ding, stop loss and profit. Breaks. Okay? If you wanted to short, you needed this to come back inside. Especially with highs like that, no one should be doing this. Oh, I'm going to put a blind, I'm going to short here. No, why? You can't do that. Once this breaks and you start to pull back, you should not be doing anything like that. Higher high, higher high. You're going to see if it can make a higher low. So you can either enter here on the long. Your stop loss would be any of these lows. Okay. Target would be 64.5. Whether you want to take this low or that low, whatever the fuck, target would be 64.5. right there. Now that you have this structure and you're sort of doing this, you would want to see if this is possible. Any questions? Iruzi says, where would your stop loss be by the book in that case? Which one? Which one? The short or long? Or I don't even know if you're talking about this long. When we enter the box, you mean here? I would probably go with standard deviation like this. So the last times that it broke, look at how clean that deviation is, Iruzi. Look at how clean. It's almost like you don't even have to average it. It's about the same every single time. So you would have had $100 stop loss. Your stop loss would have been right here. That's why we identify these levels. Look at that. You didn't even notice that? Okay, that's okay, but you got to be able to notice that. You should look at every single standard. You should look at all of the stuff that I do, Iruzi, it always has to do with what did it do in the past. Otherwise, if I don't have that historical relevance, I feel like I'm just making shit up. So whatever it is that I'm doing, Iruzi, you're going to start to notice that I'm always going to be able to say, hey, but look at what happened in the past. Whether it's an edge that I'm waiting, whether it's a level that I'm going to take, whether it's candle structure or a reaction, I'm always going to be able to say, hey, but look at what it did in the past. Okay, Ruzi, a lot of what I base things off of is what happened in the past. That's why memory recall is so important. I never knew how to set it in case like these. Thanks, brother. Yup. So, and that's just like one way that you could do it, Iruzi. That's called average deviation. How much has it deviated outside of value in the past? Okay. Sometimes it's not going to be a number. Sometimes it's going to be a divergence. Sometimes it's not going to get back in unless you have some sort of bullishness. So it might be something static, such as that. Sometimes it might be like a structure. You're going to notice, oh fuck, every single time it makes a smaller time frame bull div. Maybe that's what you're looking for. Okay, so if you don't, like if this was a smaller time frame bull div, if that was a smaller time frame bull div, if that was a smaller time frame bull div, but you don't get a smaller time frame bull div there, then you might want to close the bitch. Do you remember when I say sometimes people are looking for bearish confirmation, like a bullish, sometimes people are looking for bullish invalidation, and sometimes people are looking for bearish confirmation. Those two things are not the same. Sounds good, Iruzi? So it's always gonna just come down to what have you seen in the past. Let's go, Iruzi. Iruzi, do I have your blessing for a quick little Latuche? Do you know what I'm looking for? Do you know what position I'm in? Do you know where I might TP? Do you know where I might get into a short? Do you know what would make me TP or go into a short? Talk to me. Talk to me, motherfuckers. What are we doing? Is everybody ready to juice? Is everybody juicing? Talk to me. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're more bullish than I am or more bearish than I am, do you, okay? And I certainly don't have all the answers. Alrighty, so even if we do stuff like that, it doesn't mean that there is a right or wrong. There's really only good risk management and shitty risk management. All right, you guys good? And I say, if you're going to put blind limits in, you need to man up. And I swear to God, if anybody is crying about getting whipsawed all the way up to 64.5 on a green dildo, I'm going to, come on. Everybody good to go? We're still kind of like huddled in Lithuania, but we're all kind of like, some of you lions are getting kind of antsy, okay? And the herd of the zebras, they're getting real close. It's almost hunting time, all right? If you still have a question of what's the plan, you need to stay home today. Okay? You're going to get ran over and trampled by a bunch of hippos. All right? Kavira, good. Diggler, Spanky, Exo. All right. Leashes are off. Ready? Everybody's ready to leave Lithuania? You good? Hey, being nervous and anxious is good. It means that you care. But do you have a plan ready to go, Burzy? Are you going to wait for certain structure? Are you going to do blind? Do you know what the stop losses are? Are you going to wait for CME gap fill up top? Okay? You're also going to need to figure out, is it a bad high? Is it a good high? Are there any imbalances to correct? All right? You're going to wait ATR is too big? Oh my God. That is such a great fucking answer. Jedi's Kirk says, would love a recap for my commute home. Let me know if you have any questions. I mean, like the recap would be, it did everything that we anticipated. So the rewind is up. It's probably the best to go. Other than that, do you want to know like what my position is, Jedi? You need TP, stop loss, anything like that? It's better if you give me like a question, Jedi's Kirk, because I don't know what you don't know. If you missed all the morning stuff, like I could tell you what happened, but I think it would be much better to rewind and learn how to be able to anticipate stuff yourself. So the only thing that really happened, Jedi, was I started streaming here around this time. And as this was happening, I said, this is going to be an interesting area to short. I'm in a long from here. I was in a long from here. I TP'd. Jedi says, I honestly don't know if you've got into the short. I know open interest didn't look good at the 7.5. Yeah, so stop the music. So this is what I would also say too, Jedi's Kirk. Depending on when you joined Kimba Gang, you will always have like a favorite indicator. If you were here with me 2 years ago, I was all about inflow and outflow. If you joined a year and a half ago, I was all about divs and Fibonacci confluence. If you were here a year ago, I was all about single prints and imbalances. If you were here, if you joined 6 months ago, you might be talking about open interest and CVD. Just understand that quantitatively, open interest is maybe 1 out of 220 variables that you can base a decision on. So somebody that says, hey, the open interest didn't look good at 7.5 is somebody telling me, hey, I didn't short because there wasn't a bear div. So the only time that you would be able to short is if there's a bear div, if the open interest helps you. I think you guys are kind of getting wrapped up in like this whole thing. Alrighty, at the end of the day, it's edge. So for example, Jedi's Kirk, do you understand that I'm looking for an edge? And so if you're gonna look, so for example, if you're gonna anticipate a bearish divergence, okay, it either has to make a equal top or it has to make a higher top. So you would want to know that if you're going to short something like this. And you wouldn't want to be the guy that gets pinked out right there. Not only that, but that's why we said prioritize CME. CME didn't pink you out. Alrighty. But there's like dozens of variables that I'm going to consider all, real time. So if you're just looking at open interest and that's the only thing that you're looking at, you're cheating yourself. Literally, you don't know 99% of the other stuff. So make sure that you don't get so hyper focused on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 220 variables. Okay. So just focusing, thinking that you know it all because you know 3, 4, 5, or 6. I mean, your learning is not even close to being complete. So maybe that's the real juice, is just understanding that there's 200, 195-ish other variables that give you bearish edge or bullish edge. Sounds good, Jedi's Kirk. But I was trying to call it out while it was happening. What is this? We're all looking at the same stuff. What I would probably say, brother, is try to start tracking what edge works out by itself and what edge requires others. So is it worth it if it's just a CVD bear div? What if there's a CVD bear div and an RSI bear div? Okay, did it leave a bad high or a bad low anywhere? Like that could be potentially a bad low. The CME is not that great. So what I think you should do is start figuring out what percent of moves work out with or without certain divs, or with or without certain edge. If you don't have open interest, but you have CVD and RSI bear div, what are the chances that it's going to work out? You should be able to have little memory recall like that. Sounds good? Is the juice, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to me. Dayox, were you here at the beginning of the morning? Do you remember what my plan was? Does anybody need to know? Does anybody want to see positions? Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody want to talk about position size, entries, live TP, live fill once again? What y'all think? Absolute Mental says, yeah, show us. Only if you can tell me what my entry is. Absolute. We are above six figures. We are at 65 for TapBit, 85 for Kraken, 30 for Blowfin, 22 for MEXC. Now we're above six figures. Think about it, Big Pun. We talked about it. We planned for it. We anticipated. Alrighty. There was a point where I said, is everybody ready to go for about 3 hours, about 2.5 hours? So you want to get caught up on all the stuff before that. Alrighty, Big Pun. Let's go. We're at 69 thou. Okay, we're above 100. We're above 100 and we're approaching 200K. Easy. What you know about this? Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Easy money, Bugatti money. Pixel. 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 Got him. Got him. What I say? What I say? Got him. Got him. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, we talked about everything. So what'd you guys think? We started the day talking about the long and how I got filled on the long. We talked about TP. We remember when we talked about stop loss? How many of y'all remember when I did this? What did I say was going to be my stop loss? Where did I say my stop loss was on the long? Where did I say my TP was? Where did I say that I might short hedge? Did I do anything that I didn't plan for? Whether it was the stop loss on the long, TP on the long, short entry, why I would take it. I just did everything that we talked about in literally the first 15 seconds of the stream starting. 15-second alpha TA, let's go. I really hope people were able to stick around and follow from start to finish because it's so easy to get lost, but the math is the math. And shout outs to people like Shadow Dancer that got to hear it from start to finish, the whole thing. Really juiced. Really learned. Let's go. Math is math. You guys know what it is. What is it that I said about this golden pocket? I want it to turn into what? Is anybody surprised by this? Okay, we're good. Jeremy, you good, baby. Let's go, Jeremy. Jeremy, do you know what my position size is? Do you know where I'm at? I'm up 65 on the tap bit, close to 85, 90 on the Kraken. Everything's just moving too fast. 31 on the blowfin. You good? Would you take a third hit on that high? If this bounces and goes, is that what you're asking, Sensei Rojo? Deox says today was great, still taking L's but always learning. If you want to go over anything, let me know. Sensei says yes. So Sensei, I would be looking if this goes back up. First things first. You see CME, brother? What is that on CME? Do you see the difference between the highs on CME versus Coinbase and derivatives, Sensei Rojo? So I would look for that to get cleaned up, and I would also be looking for CME gap fill, Sensei Rojo. And I would love for this to be like, you know, still like a triple. Would you take a third hit on that high? If this bounces and goes, is that what you're asking, Sensei Rojo? Sensei says yes. So Sensei, I would be looking if this goes back up. First things first. You see CME, brother? What is that on CME? Do you see the difference between the highs on CME versus Coinbase and derivatives, Sensei Rojo? So I would look for that to get cleaned up, and I would also be looking for CME gap fill, Sensei Rojo. And I would love for this to be like, you know, still like a triple. Cage, Chalub, YG. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if I get stopped out. If we do, if I wake up and I realize that I got stopped out, we'll re-enter. What the fuck? These lows got swept. Anyways, that's crazy. Okay, so, but Save it. Save it. Save it. And then, of course, this one too. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm excited to regroup with you guys. Stay safe. Don't be like this guy. Put your stop loss in profit. All right. You guys remember what we talked about? Dink, dink. Don't get bullish on the blank. Get bullish on the blank. You know what I'm talking about. So I'll keep it on this for you guys, yeah? What is this? Dink, 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 dink. Dink, 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 dink. So lots of stuff to kind of help you out and gauge your risk, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds good. Oh my goodness, rantastic up in this house. Follow, follow, follow. This is unacceptable, Lions. Let's go. Follow, follow, follow. Yeah, Rice says, can I get a sub? Only if you go follow Ran. Okay, here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Hopefully I don't get stopped out. Hopefully I don't get stopped out. Everything looks good. We got to make a lower low, ladies and gentlemen. All right? You know what it is. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Papa DC, have a great night. You know what? Let me gift you a sub, Papa DC. Appreciate you, brother. You good, Papa DC? Were you able to catch the whole thing today? How many of y'all were able to catch the whole thing today from start to finish? Yorita. All right, have a great night, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bugatti.